Hi, Mark here with an AMS Club tip. Today we're diving into merging contacts, accounts, or leads. When, why, and how. A quick trick to help you master Dynamics 365, one tip at a time. Okay, so I've got my contacts. Now, whether you do this for contacts, accounts, or leads, the same process applies. So I'm going to run it with contacts today, and I've got my all contacts list in front of me. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sort it by full name, A to Z. So I can see here that I've got an Abby Spencer and an Abigail Spencer. If I just highlight both those records by checking the boxes to the left-hand side, and one hasn't got an email address, one has got an email address. They both work for Cunningham, Manning, Johnson. So it looks like we have got a duplicate here that the duplicate detection rules haven't picked up. Okay, so what you'd want to do typically is you want to click into those records just to get a good understanding of some of the data that's contained within them, perhaps have a look at the timeline and so on. As we've seen in previous videos, you can use your record sets navigator in the command bar. Instead of going back to your list of records, you can continue navigating the list from here. So let's take a look at Abby Spencer. Okay, so again, you get a good feeling for what data is stored against each of them. But if we just go back to our contacts list, so let's go back and back again. Then what we would want to do to merge these is we want to select both of them. And then we want to click onto the merge button, which has now appeared in the command bar for us because we have two records selected, it's now available. Click onto merge. Okay, so you've got a few options here, and then you've got a selection of data fields underneath. You can choose the option to merge records by choosing fields with data, in which case it will do that for you. You can view the fields with conflicting data, which we are doing below, and you can enable a parent check to make sure that it checks whether they've got the same parent or not. So in this case, the parent is the Cunningham account, and you can enable or disable that. And what we then want to do is choose the record that we want to retain as the primary record, because the one that we don't retain will be deactivated. It won't be deleted. You'll still have the data there, but it will be deactivated. So I'm going to, because this one's got the email address, I'm going to keep actually this Abigail Spencer, but we can see we have a mobile number against Abby Spencer, and we have some address details on there. So I'm going to retain the primary record to be Abigail Spencer, keep some of the contact details here, but then I'm going to use some of the contact details from Abby Spencer. When we're happy with our selection, we click onto OK. It's now merging the records. And what it's now done is it's now moved that data or copied that data from the Abby Spencer record into the Abigail Spencer record for phone, street one, and so on. We can see we've got Abigail Spencer here, and her record is active. We've got Abby Spencer here, and her record is inactive. Now, incidentally, if you were using the active contacts view at this point in time, the Abby Spencer record would disappear from that view because it's now inactive. If we open up Abigail Spencer, we can see we've now got the mobile phone number in there, we've got the address details in there. So really, really useful process to run through. And if we click onto Record Set Navigator and open Abby Spencer, we can see that this is now read-only. And it also tells us which record it was merged with. So we can always follow the trail, click onto Abigail Spencer up at the top, and then get through to the record that we're expecting to see. Just a slight note of caution with this, and depending on how your system's being configured, when you change the ownership of a contact or account, it will cascade that down the structure potentially. So it may well change some of the timeline, phone calls, emails, appointments, who the owner of those are, whether they are open or closed. And also it could do the same with any opportunities, quotes, orders, and so on. So it's worth just running it on a test in your environment first, just to make sure you're happy with the results. Similarly, if there are none of those child records, you don't have a problem. But it's just making sure that you have the desired outcome at first when you run that before you run it for real on a real record. Okay. But yeah, that's how we can easily use the merge functionality for contacts, accounts, or leads to use and improve our data cleansing in the system and our data quality. Thanks for tuning into this week's AMS Club tip. If you found it useful, please like it, share it with your team, and subscribe for more. And remember, all my systems are here to help you get the most from Dynamics 365.